I'm trying to get the office done this side of New Year's Eve, so I'm continuing the work of stripping the walls before they get professionally re-skimmed. This wall was concerning because the sound it made in places made me worried that an expensive problem was hidden behind the wallpaper. Turns out it was just that the skim coat had peeled off the wall. This is why you're supposed to score the plaster undercoat, so that the skim coat has something to stick to. I left the skirting board on until I got to the bottom of the wall to minimize the amount of debris going underneath the floorboards. The architrave also has to go since I will be replacing the wonky door lining. The plaster around the window was different somehow. Looks like it was a board or something. Essentially, there's a big gap between the interior window reveal and the window itself. Is this normal? I'm wondering if the window fitter would have measured differently if I'd removed this first. Wall pipes and corner valves make it kinda difficult to take the radiator out, especially if you don't leave room for the pipes to move. I figured out the solution later, but at that point, the only obvious choice was to remove the valves along with the radiator. This meant draining the system. Pro tip, empty radiators aren't empty. I still need heat in the house, so I have to cap off those pipes with blanking nuts. Make sure to get the right size. The advertised diameter is that of the pipe, not of the fitting. With the radiator support removed, back to wall stripping. As mentioned before, there's a sizable gap between the windows and the walls. Gap that essentially leads straight to the outside. You can see the soffit from here. Nothing some expanding foam can't fix. I've heard horror stories about expanding foam going out of control if you overfill, but that doesn't seem to have been a problem here. In fact, it didn't seem to expand past the first few seconds. I just made sure the gaps were sealed and cut off any excess. Next step is to clear the debris and the dust as best as I can. I also wanted to build up the undercoat plaster around the window so that it gets to the level of the window frame. Make sure to go one thin layer at a time when doing the top, because gravity isn't your friend. Ask me how I know. In some places I couldn't remove the skirting board nails, so I ground the tips off. Finally, I'm going to address the pipe issue. This starts with widening the chase so that the pipe can move more easily. I then use some unused PVC trunking which I cut to size and placed into the chase to create a box around the pipe. This lets me plaster over it while still being able to wiggle the pipe. I'll need to leave the opening around the bend, so I'll hide it with a pipe cover once the wall is reskimmed. A week later, the room is ready for painting. There's still lots to do, so I'll see you next time.